want to be courted. I had no time in my life for men. It was an unwanted complication. I was going to have a career as a foreign correspondent for a large Boston newspaper. You ruined my life. Aren't you ashamed?
Not to wit. Couldn't resist me naked charm, could you, darling?
You must have done some pretty fast talking to get the buggy that I passed. I'll never know what possessed me to take a ride with you tonight. It was a perfect night for romance.
You must admit we Irish are romantic people. I turned on my lucky charms and I lighted up. I knew at that moment that if I let you get away, I'd regret it for the rest of my days. I was prepared to pick you up and carry you off. That's what it took.
Ah, that's smart stone talking now.
I will not be denying that I have kissed the Blarney Stone lass, but this comes from the bottom of my heart. I adore you then, and I adore you now even more.
Do you really? Or are you just trying to soften me up for one of your wild schemes? What else did your dear old dad have to say? He seemed to forget that I came from a Boston society, and not some shanty on the wrong side of the tracks.
Me sainted father warned me against American women. They're too independent, he says, and no heart for tradition. And it's for that reason we are now living in this most uncivilized town, and I can't even get me banner hung where I want it. Patrick!
Yes, Mr. Donovan.
Patrick, move that banner outside.
But Mrs. Donovan says the rain will wash away.
Nonsense! Do as I say, lad.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, Seamus, all the writing will wash away, and you'll not draw a single fisherman to lodge here.
Why would you want fishermen to stay, Mrs. Donovan?
To me, it makes no difference. It's part of Mr. Donovan's plan.
Don't be mocking me, woman. You've done enough harm already.
Oh, this is silly, Seamus. Do what you want with the banner. Just let me know when the children arrive.
Women, what was the good Lord thinking when he created them?
What is it Mrs. Donovan has done now, sir?
I'll tell you, Patrick. She's a stubborn one, me Eddie. I told her straight up I'd be wanting sons, but when the time came for childbearing, our firstborn child was a girl.
No!
Yes! The entire community was in an uproar, I tell you. There hadn't been a woman going to a Donovan in County Kerry since 1756.
1756?
My great-aunt Catherine named me our daughter after her. In fact, it was Aunt Katie who started her own Donovan family tradition.
What was that?
Donovan women, being few and far between, made people a bit wary of themselves anyways. Aunt Katie possessed a particularly foul disposition. People called her Wildcat. She'd just as soon spit in your eyes. Look at you.
Mean, huh?
Me could begin to describe her lad. She was a hellion, that one. But she was a beauty, though. Many young men came a courting, but eventually Aunt Katie's nasty temper drove them all away. That was when the men of County Kerry, being somewhat superstitious, decided that Donovan women were cursed and should be avoided at all costs. Naturally, Aunt Katie never married.
That's too bad.
Too bad! It was very nearly a disaster. We lost an entire branch of the Donovan clan because of it.
What do you mean?
Catherine was the oldest child. Since she never wed, none of her 8 brothers was ever able to.
Why not?
Tradition, me boy. The oldest child was married before any of the others are allowed to.
Well, that's a ton of fish.
Hey! That's me family I'm talking about, that lad. I'll have you know it's a tradition we still uphold today. In fact, it's why I had to leave my native land.
To come to Seattle?
Well, not the first. 15 years ago, I asked my cousin Liam to take over my fishing boats for a while. Then I moved my family out to Boston.
Oh, I get it. Your only chance of marrying off your Katie was to move to America.
Good thinking, lad, but it was much farther than that.
What do you mean?
My wife is so stubborn. You know, she gave me 5 daughters and not 1 son.
Wow!
And because of the blasted curse, I knew that her husband would be found among the men of Ireland.
So you moved to Boston?
Indeed, a seaport, so I knew there was bound to be plenty of fishing. Well, my daughters could hook themselves fishermen.
That sounds like a good plan.
That's what I thought, but it didn't work out too well.
No marriage proposals, huh?
Proposals came every day for Bridget and Mavie and Moira, and even my little daughter Alana, who's only 17, has been asked for twice. But no one will have Katie.
Is she homely?
Bite your tongue, lad! A more beautiful girl you've never seen in your life. But a handful she is. Too much for any man Irish or American to tame. I'm afraid that she's inherited more from a great-great-aunt Katie than just the name.
Wow.
I'd lost all hope until I read about Seattle, a seaport, so I know there's bound to be plenty of fishermen, and 10 men to every 1 woman. And I knew that among all of these men there had to be at least one with enough fortitude to tame Katie.
So that's why you call this place the Fisherman's Inn. You only want fishermen to stay here to marry off your daughter.
That's right, my boy. They almost married fishermen, except for Katie, of course. I'd marry any man who'd have her.
Well, it's too bad there are no fishermen here.
What? No fishermen? You see the boats? You see the ocean yonder? How can you say there's no fishermen?
Because, sir, Seattle's a logging town. Those ships are just hauling lumber down to San Francisco. Plenty of sailors, but no fishermen.
Ain't no matter lad. There's got to be some fishermen around here somewhere.
Sir,
Mr. Donovan, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Payson Mercer, President of the University and Mayor of Seattle.
There's a university here.
Oh yes, a small one, but growing. This is Judge Fuller, owner of the First Bank of Seattle.
Top of the morning to you.
And Clyde Giles, owner and editor of our local paper, The Times.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I'd like to thank you for advertising with us.
Englishman, eh?
American now, sir.
Anyway, Mr. Donovan.
Call me Seamus.
Fine, Seamus. We'd like to welcome you to our little town, and we hope your family will be very happy here.
I'm sure my daughters will be more than happy here in Seattle, although they long to return to their native land of Ireland.
Daughters? As in more than one?
Oh yes, I'm blessed with 5 beautiful girls.
5?
This is wonderful news. Seamus, you may not know this, but women are rather scarce in these parts.
You don't say.
These wouldn't be little girls, would they?
Little girls, no, they're all nearly grown. My eldest Katie is the only one of the age to be married should any man take a fancy to her, however. But the others aren't far behind.
Tell me, Seamus, would it be possible to meet your daughters?
We'd love to welcome them to our town before anyone else finds out they're here.
I'm afraid they won't be arriving until later today.
Suppose we should get down to business. These gentlemen and I make up the city council. We've been conducting most of our business in the jailhouse, as we don't have a town hall anymore.
It burned down.
We're building a new one. It should be done by spring.
We had an agreement with the previous owner of the inn that for a reasonable monthly retainer, we could, when necessary, conduct business in the parlor and have a room available for visiting dignitaries and the like.
Well, I don't know.
We'll pay $10 a month.
Deal.
Great. We'll be needing the parlor tomorrow morning.
We're meeting with representatives from the local Indian tribes.
They've been at war with each other.
Not to mention attacking us from time to time.
Our federal marshal, Daniel O'Brien, is negotiating a peaceful settlement with them.
Nobody told me nothing about Indians attacking.
It's been several years since they last burnt our town to the ground.
You have our assurance. Everyone will be completely safe.
We wouldn't let any harm come to your daughters, sir.
Our federal marshal will hear himself make certain of it.
You see that he does. Don't you excuse me. I've got work to do.
Daughters, be strong and rich. 5 daughters.
One for each of us and 2 to spare.
But only Kitty is of the marrying age.
Then I'll take Kitty. You 2 can wait for the rest to grow up.
What makes you think she wants you when I'm available?
My friends, be realistic. There are 10 men for every woman in Seattle. It means our chances of marrying any of Donovan's daughters are 10 to 1.
Yes, Professor, but we have a definite advantage. No one else knows these girls are coming.
And if you work fast, we can get ourselves engaged before anyone else finds out.
They aren't all old enough to be married.
So?
I don't mind a long engagement. At least it's a bird in the hand.
Yeah, waiting a month or 2 won't be so bad.
Just remember, keep this quiet, or every man in Seattle will turn out.
What about Danny? He'll be here tomorrow for the meeting.
Yeah, and I seem to remember women like the strong, silent type.
And don't forget the bag. Some women find it irresistible.
Come on, can you picture Danny married?
Not really. I mean, not even sure you know what to do with a wife.
It will be alright as long as it doesn't try to cook me. She's going to be mine!
Not if I see her first.
Seamus didn't say she was blood. It's the only way she would choose you over me!
Oh, is that so?
Hold on, gentlemen. Perhaps we should draw lots or flip a coin to decide who will pursue her. And the other 2 men can set their sights on their younger sisters, and there needn't be any arguing about it.
Good idea, Asa. No wonder why you're a scholar.
Ah, here, I've got some matchsticks. I'll break one in half, and whoever gets the short stick gets Katie. Draw.
Oh! This is even more primitive and uncivilized than I'd imagined. They can't seriously expect me to live in a place like this. I can't believe they sold a perfectly good mansion in Boston to come here. Hey! One of you toads go unload the wagon. And be careful with my large trunk. The latch is broken. Are you deaf as well as dumb? I said get my stuff out of that broken down plow of a wagon.
Excuse me, miss. We don't work here. We're the town council.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry, I should have said get your lazy town councilman behind out to the wagon and bring in my stuff.
All right.
And be careful. It's muddy and slippery out there. I don't want any of my stuff dropped.
Please tell me your name isn't Katie, is it?
Katie? No! My name is Catherine. No one calls me Katie except my father, so see that you don't do it again!
Yes, ma'am. I'll just go help Judd. She's all yours, Captain.
And just what are you looking at?
Nothing. Nothing at all. I'm Asa Mercer, president of the university and mayor of Seattle. And may I say it's a pleasure to meet you, Kev.
No, you may not, Mr. Lottie Marin, president of the university. I have no use for you, your university, or your stinking town! I hate rain, I hate trees, and I hate the Pacific Ocean. I've been on a train for 3 days and a stagecoach for 8. I'm tired, I'm dirty, and I'm beginning to feel a foul temper coming on. So, you'd better stay out of my way. Ma, why have you brought us to this godforsaken place?
I know I haven't seen a woman in a while, but this sure wasn't as pleasurable an experience as I remembered it.
Excuse me, sir.
I'm sorry.
What for?
For whatever I might say or do to offend you.
I'm sure a fine gentleman such as yourself couldn't possibly do anything to offend anyone. I'm Bridget Donovan. I hope I have found the right place. Is this the establishment of Mr. Seamus Donovan?
Indeed it is. I'm Asa Mercer.
Asa, what a delightful name. You must tell me all about yourself, Mr. Mercer.
Shouldn't I get your bags first?
Nonsense. One so finely tailored as yourself couldn't possibly be a bellman.
No, I'm just the mayor and president of the university.
Mayor and the president of the university, I would not for all the world have you waiting on me. It is I should be waiting on you. Please sit down. Can I get you some tea? Perhaps a bite to eat?
Aren't you weary after your long journey, Miss Donovan?
A woman should never be too weary to entertain a handsome, intelligent, important man such as yourself, Mr. Mercer.
Please, call me Asa.
And you must call me Bright.
I like that.
It's short for Bridget. So tell me, Asa, how does Mrs. Mercer like Seattle?
My mother?
No, your wife.
Oh, I'm not married.
That's too bad. I mean, Seattle seems like a lonely place for someone who's alone. In Boston, everything was so festive. There was always parties and things. Here, there only seems to be trees and rain. I do hope I won't go mad.
I shall make it my reason for living to see that you don't.
Asa, you wouldn't be trying to sweep me off my feet now, would you?
Why, no.
Oh, that's too bad. I would for surely like you if you would.
Where are those clowns with my bags? If I don't get out of these clothes soon, I'll scream! Brady, I'm getting to bed by the window, so just don't think about taking it. And I don't want to hear about any of your congestion nonsense.
Of course, Catherine, you may have any bed you wish. Have you met our mayor, Asa Mercer?
Yeah. Very impressive. Mayor of Mudhole. And I've got first dibs on the back, so don't try sneaking in there before me.
Of course not.
When those imbeciles get here with my trunk have to bring it up, they probably got lost between the house and the wagon.
You'll have to excuse my sister. She's a bit out of sorts.
Does traveling always affect her so?
Well,
Or perhaps she's just upset about moving to Seattle.
actually, she hated Boston and everyone in it, or so she says. But as I think of it, she actually hasn't struck anyone today. Unless she did that prior to my coming.
A little shoving, but no actual striking.
Then I'd say she's in relatively good spirits.
You mean to say this is her usual state?
Oh no.
That's a relief.
Sometimes she's worse.
And you, my dear Bridie, are you always as kind as Catherine is cruel?
It isn't my niece please as much as it is Catherine's.
Asa, we've struck pure gold!
No, Mrs. You're sweet, lovely, kind.
And they never shoved us, not once!
Allow me to introduce Laura Donovan.
And maybe Donovan.
The ladies meet Asa Mercer, Seattle's mayor and president of the university.
There's a university here? I'd love to study music.
Maybe has a lovely voice. I've often told her she belongs in the opera.
I'll hope you'll sing for me sometime.
I didn't know bank presidents were interested in music.
And do you sing as well, Laura?
Oh, I'm afraid not, Clive.
But she has some lovely prose. Perhaps Mr. Giles likes to hear one of your poems more, right?
Oh, I would burn a professional such as Mr. Giles with my girlish musings.
I'm very interested in your girlishness. Your musings, I mean.
Me doctors, you have come at last.
John! Oh, we missed you so! So lonely without you.
And no fun either.
I am working little Alana.
She was outside talking to some boy who's hanging a bag. He's getting a bag.
Ah, Patrick, that's a good lad. Come on, let's go find your mother. We're so happy to see her.
Friends, this is a great day indeed.
Enjoy it. Awesome day.
Bridget is so beautiful.
Yeah.
See, her hair is just so luscious and red.
I need
The back door!
Just drop him anywhere, Patrick. It was awfully sweet of you to bring in all those heavy bags. You must be ever so strong.
Well, being a lumberjack is hard work. Maybe good, strong arms.
You're a lumberjack?
Well, I will be next year when it turns.
My, that's so exciting.
Yeah, I'll be making quite a bit of money, you know. Well, I'll be able to make my own house at 120.
I suppose once you have a job and a house, the next thing you'll be wanting is a wife.
Yep. What?
A wife!
Oh. Yeah. First I'd like to get a dog.
A dog? Maybe for now you better get Catherine's trunk. It's the big one.
Maybe she should get it herself if she needs it so bad.
Patrick, you've got a lot to learn.
Don't you care about the future of your daughters?
Woman, if I didn't care about their futures, then I would have left me to Rhode Island. It's always the girls to take it up.
The girls or your fishing business?
Abby, how can you say such a thing? It's their happiness I'm after having and nothing more.
Fine, then it's agreed. I'll hire two for them right away.
They know everything a woman needs to know. Cooking, cleaning, and sewing. What use will they ever have for anything more?
Seamus, in Ireland that might be alright, but our daughters are American women.
Nonsense! Every blessed one of them was born on Irish soil.
But we're in America now. We need more reading, history, and mathematics.
Mathematics? What on earth does a girl do with mathematics?
Seamus, I'm gonna ask Mr. Mercer to hire a teacher for the girls, and that's final.
Alright, Abby. Have it your way.
Good day, friends. I am Dairy Inspector. This is Aggie. I'll be needing accommodations for a few weeks.
Are you a fisherman then?
No.
Didn't you see, Vanna?
There was a sign out there, but all the writing was washed away.
Well, it's supposed to say Seattle fisherman then.
You mean you only let the rooms to fishermen?
But you're the only inn in town. Where else are we to go?
You don't need to go anywhere else. There are plenty of other rooms upstairs for fishermen, should any show up. Besides, this one's got a lady already.
Alright. For the two of you then.
Actually, I'll need one room just for myself, as well as rooms for several beautiful young ladies. Oh, and my sister also.
Under what conditions would you be traveling with several young ladies, Mr. Inspector?
Purely business, my good lady. I'm opening a social club.
A social club?
Yes, strictly on the up and up. You see, the last time I was here, I noticed a sharp imbalance between the number of men and women.
My brother replied that it was his civic duty to bring over some young women to ease the loneliness of the men there.
All good church-going young ladies from fine upstanding families.
Their parents were willing to let them go.
They're all of legal age.
And of course, they trust my sister and me implicitly. Agatha is their chaperone.
That's good to know.
But of course, it is a costly venture. So I came up with a plan whereby I pay for the ladies' transportation, lodging, and what have you. Then they work for me until their debt is paid off. After that, they're free to marry and settle here.
In what capacity do they work for you?
As hostesses in my social club. I call them the Spectre Girls. The building is nearly complete. We're located just across the road.
We'll live upstairs and conduct business downstairs.
These girls must be awfully brave to leave their families behind and come to this strange and wild country alone.
They're not alone. They have Agatha and me.
It must be a comfort to their parents to know that you two are caring for them so.
I'm sure you and your Spectre girls will be more than happy here in Seattle. But I'd be wishing you to wait a bit longer to come.
Why?
Now, Seamus, a few more young ladies in town isn't going to hurt Katie's chances of finding a proper husband.
Katie.
Our daughter, Seamus is afraid she'll never find a husband and she'll never get back to Ireland and his dear fishing boats.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
It's some silly Donovan tradition that the oldest child must marry first. That's the Irish for you. Please tell the boy and have him get their luggage. I'll show Mr. Spectre and his sister to their rooms.
Oh, all right. Patrick, what are you like?
Why don't you bring in the young ladies while I take care of the room?
Very well.
Please sign a register, Mr. Spectre. The girls will be rooms 2 and 4 if they're adjoining, and you'll be just in the hall in room 7.
Fine. I'd like to take a look at the rooms before the young ladies come in.
Of course. Right this way.
You girls wait here. I'll find Derry. And don't even think of leaving. There's nothing out there but wilderness as far as the eye can see.
Then why did you keep us lodged in the wagon?
Why, for your own protection, Elsa. You know my brother and I care for you all as if you were our own little sisters. Is that why you tried to double what the train would cost us to get here? You forget, the railroads don't accept credits.
And they don't charge 60% interest either.
Nor do they offer the personal protection that my brother and I have.
Some protection days without food except for bread and water.
That was your own fault. There are always consequences for bad behavior. Changing your mind is not bad behavior. None of us would have agreed to come here if we have known what it's going to be like. But you did agree. And you signed contracts. And now you must honor those contracts or you'll be thrown in jail. At least in jail, we have a decent meal and a warm bed. You should all be down on your knees, thanking my brother and me for taking you out of your former conditions and offering you a new start in the West. Now, if I hear one more word of deception, you'll all go without dinner tonight. And breakfast tomorrow, for that matter. Now stay here.
I never thought I'd miss Philadelphia, that horrible orphanage, scrubbing floors, but it seems like paradise compared to this.
I almost wish I'd been in an orphanage. My folks were so poor they sold me to Darien for only a few dollars. I miss my old Kentucky home.
My father lost me on a poker wager to Darien. Dad was so sure his hand would win. He cried like a baby when Darien carried me off. I was living on the streets of New York City. I'd eat for 3 days in Darien County. Anything since I was starving to death. Now I'm not so sure.
At my orphanage in Maryland, they got tired of sending me out as a maid. I thought I was signing a laundry ticket.
I'm like Marie. Anything to get away from Baltimore. Anything? Honey, you've hit the bottom of the barrel.
And you struck it rich, right?
No, silly, but we've all come here from different places. And due to circumstances we did not control, we've all ended up here.
But where is here? I know it's Seattle. What I mean is, what's going to happen to us? Wherever it is, I know we're in for a long haul with Darien. Oh goody, I can hardly wait.
Sarcasm is not what we need right now.
What we need right now are young, rich, handsome men to beat Darien up and carry us off.
Like Cinderella.
Cindy, what?
You know, like the story.
I ain't got any idea of what you're talking about.
Does anyone know what I mean? No? Forget it.
You had some schooling also?
Some, but this was in a book I found.
You found a book? Where? I like stories. Will you tell it?
But only if it has a happy ending. What we need right now is the men to give us a happy ending. I got an idea. Why don't we sneak out when the Spectres aren't looking, and the others cover up for her?
The only problem with that plan is that they're always looking, or they have us locked up. But you're right. We have to find some way for one of us to get away, get some help.
We'll make a pact. Whichever one of us gets out of here first, we'll go get help with other girls. Right? So anyway, I will.
All right. We must look for any here. I mean, once Darian gets the social club open, we can start working and paying off our contracts.
Don't kid yourself, Elsa. As much as Darian and Agatha are making us pay for food, lodging, and transportation, we'll never be able to work at all. We'll be too old and gray to find husbands. Never mind having a family.
Now look what you've done! Don't cry, Marie.
Stop crying, Marie. Someone's coming.
Ladies, Agatha's waiting for you at the top of the stairs. You're to stay in your room. Speak to no one.
Why shouldn't we speak to anyone, Darian? What are you so afraid of?
Me, I'm not afraid of anything, I assure you. It's for your own protection. Now get upstairs, the lot of you. You hear me? I mean now! Squalling bunch of motherless brats. There's not a spirited filly among them. I'd like to meet the woman who can stand up to the likes of Darian Spector. But these will earn me a pretty penny anyway. When the saloon is finished, I'll have more money than I'll ever be able to spend. And in 6 months, I'll return to the East and bring back more women. And as long as I have the only women in Seattle, every man will gladly spend his hard-earned cash at my saloon. I'll be rich. I'm a genius.
What on earth would anyone find to laugh about this pitiful place?
Wyatt, and nothing at all. You must be Kate.
Catherine to you. Only my father calls me Kate. Anyway, how do you know who I am?
I've just had the pleasure of meeting your parents. Your name came up.
I'm sure the pleasure was all yours.
You're an intriguing. I like it.
Well, I don't give a fig what you or any other man likes. I'm not so easily swayed by pretty words as my silly sisters are.
Sister.
Not even here a full day, and they're already taken with the men of Seattle. The little empty heads can't wait to get married. Well, I refuse to become the property of some man who's not half as smart as I am, but who can vote and own land while I can't.
Sister.
Yes, 4 of them.
Oh dear.
Tall, pea-brained imbeciles, making fools of themselves over men they hardly know.
5 single women? This is not good. It could spoil my whole plan.
Plan?
You are a spirited woman indeed. Could I compel you to take a wagon ride with me?
No, you could not! Men! Egocentric, self-centered baboons! Oh!
That is the meanest, nastiest woman I have ever met. There was nothing I would like better than to tame her. There's nothing quite so delicious as a tame, wild woman. But 4 sisters, this is a disaster. They must all be gotten rid of. I must make it my first order of business.
Oh, I just love Seattle. Me too. I'm so glad we came.
I got no place to be as wonderful as Boston, but I was wrong.
Yeah, there's nothing like rain, mud, and not one dress shop in the entire town.
2% for dresses, Alana. And a little rain never hurts anyone.
Just a minor inconvenience. I don't get it. What's so great about Seattle?
The men.
Is that all? Big deal. Boston had men too. Not like Asa Mercer or Clyde Giles.
Judge Williger.
Well, it doesn't matter how wonderful they all are. Unless Catherine gets married, none of you can either. We know. We tried talking to her about it this morning, but she's so stubborn.
She insists she'll never marry.
She says she's never met a man worth giving up her independence. I'm afraid she's become very angry with us. Catherine says that before a woman is married, she's her father's property, and after she's married, she's her husband's property.
So
Catherine doesn't think that's right. She says it's oppressive.
now she's feeling enormous with her nonsense.
Well, that's fine for Catherine, but what about the rest of us?
That's right. Thanks to Catherine, we can all find out old things.
Why don't you just get married?
Catherine, you know we
The
can.
tradition? Break the tradition! If you had any courage, you'd get married if you wanted to, tradition or not.
Catherine, such talk.
You won't do it because you're a bunch of mealy-mouthed, demure, eyes cast down, walk 10 paces behind females.
How dare you
Catherine, stop! Catherine, you'll break your arm! Let her go, please stop!
That's better. Pretty little things such as yourself shouldn't be scrapping so. If I let you go, will you promise not to hurt the other young ladies anymore?
I promise I won't hurt a single one of them. Didn't promise not to hurt you, though!
Very complicated.
Quite a penalty for striking an officer of the law.
It won't matter if you're not alive to enforce it. Now let me go!
Seems I'm a bit of a conundrum here. If I let you go, you'll most probably come at me again.
Oh, you better believe it.
But I can't very well hold you all day and night now, can I? Any suggestions, ladies?
Nothing we dare say.
Oh!
We can always calm her down.
Father, so you're all sisters, are you?
Yes, we're the daughters of Donovan. I'm Bridget. This is Mamie. And Maureen. And that was Alana who just ran out.
Pleasure to meet you, ladies. I'm Danny O'Brien, Federal Marshal.
Let's all have tea and cookies, shall we? Maybe we can make a quilt or something!
Good. And who's this wild thing?
That would be Catherine, our oldest sister.
Katie, is it?
Don't ever call me that, do you hear? I'll beat you till you're black and blue, I'll pound you to a pulp! Your own mother won't know you when I'm through with you.
It's a pleasure to meet you too, Miss Katie.
I'm warning you!
Here now, and what's all the commotion?
It's Catherine again.
Oh!
Katie, you let that young fellow go.
I believe the young man fell with Catherine Seamus.
Oh, and so it is. And who might you be, my good man?
Duh! This maniac's like to kill me, and you're exchanging pleasantries with him?
I'm Danny O'Brien, sir, Federal Marshal. I shake your hand, but to be honest, I'm afraid to let go of this one. It's like having a tiger by the tail.
Huh, afraid you should be, because when I get my hands on you, I'm gonna
Oh, you do no such thing. Stop your struggling so the officer can let you go. Stop your struggling, I say. You can let her go now.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
You know it's what it...
Catherine, shame on you! Up to your room! All of you girls upstairs, I'm still unpacking.
I'm sorry about Catherine, Mr. O'Brien. I'm sure she didn't mean any harm.
You must be the new owner of the Seattle Inn.
Seamus Donovan, what you mean the Seattle fishermen then?
A fisherman? But there are hardly any...
I know. Listen, Danny, about Katie. I hope she didn't give you the wrong impression. She really is a lovely girl.
I'm sure she is. I guess we just got off on the wrong foot.
Sit down, my boy. You seem to be a very strong man, Danny.
Well, you know, in my line of work...
Are you a married man, Danny?
Well, no, I'm not, sir.
A man ought to be married. You should seriously consider it.
Well, I haven't really met anyone to...
You and Katie seem to be getting pretty well acquainted. Acquainted. She is of a marrying age, you know.
Well, I'm sure some lucky man...
I think she likes you.
I don't think so.
Did she punch you?
No, but she tried to.
Did she spit on you?
No,
Then she likes you.
but she stomped on my foot. And she said some things that weren't very nice.
Ah, sticks and stones, my boy. Sticks and stones.
Danny, I'm glad you're here. Mr. Donovan, I would like to introduce Running Bear from the Suquamish tribe.
Oh. You.
I'm from the Duwamish tribe skulking fox.
Hey. Nice to meet you, gentlemen, but I'll just let you get your meeting.
Gentlemen, shall we get down to business?
It has been decided by both elders of our tribe that we shall seal our peace with the marriage.
Lots were drawn. My sister Lily Blossom, who waits outside, was chosen to represent our people.
And I, as the chief son, will represent my people. My sister, White Dove, will be a witness for my people also.
And I will witness for the Suquamish.
In the meantime, we'll need a week for prayer and preparation.
It was further decided that in order to forge a bond with the settlers here, that the ceremony should take place according to the laws of the United States.
As a justice of the peace, I would be honored to perform this civil ceremony.
Thank you, Mr. Mercer.
We can have the ceremony right here.
In the meantime, we'll need a place for the women to stay. Me and Running Bear will camp in the woods.
There's a place for them here at the inn.
Thank you.
All that remains is for Running Bear and Lily Blossom to meet.
You mean they haven't even met each other yet?
It was not necessary.
You're marrying someone you never met?
I do this for my tribe and for peace, though it is not the will of my heart.
Nor was it Lily Blossom's choice to wed Skulking Fox, choosing to promise to a young, brave warrior of our tribe. It's been difficult for me to suffer tears these last few days.
You should be happy. I would have her sight unseen.
Well, maybe you two should bring Lily Blossom in now.
I'll ask Mr. Donovan to prepare a room.
Can you imagine marrying someone you've never met?
Well, actually, given the odds here in Seattle, yes. Have you ever heard of Village of Brides?
No.
I'll explain later. Maybe we should move over to the bar and two get out of the way.
Good idea. Let's.
Skulking Fox, your bride, the Princess Lily Blossom of the Suquamish tribe.
I'm Stalking Fox, Duwamish warrior.
I'm in your humble presence, my future husband.
This is my sister's white dove. She will be your attendant.
Thank you, White Dove. It is my pleasure.
I'm so happy, Mr. Mercer. Are you sure tomorrow isn't too soon to start?
Not at all, Mrs. Donovan. I look forward to it.
Come with me, ladies. I'll show you to your room.
Come, we must prepare our camp.
Catherine's starting her awful behavior again. Oh no, not again. Why does she always do these things and act this way? Remember that nice fellow back in Boston? His name was Bertram. Katie parted his hair with a three-legged stool. Ugh. Isn't there something that can be done? This has to be stopped, or we'll all be a whole maid. What about Doc? Can he do something? Doc can't follow her around all the time. Oh, I remember those Harvard boys. When it takes the college social. Yes. Katie poured dishwater on them from the second story. They ran away and never came back. I think Katie's just jealous of us because men like us and not her. Plenty of men are attracted to her, but she runs them all off. I would just give anything if there was one man who could take her by the shoulders and shake her till her teeth rattle. Well, if there isn't one in Seattle, as rough as this place is, there probably isn't one anywhere. Well, we could always elope. We've talked that idea over and over again and always come to the same conclusion. Donald would be crushed if we broke the tradition. We can't do that to him. Katie's not going to ruin things for me this time. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. Alana, we all feel that way. But what? If we give her a good whacking and she'd just come back at us one by one. And I, for one, don't fancy that. We could poison her. Or put a rattlesnake in her bed. She's so mean she'd scare the snake to death. Stop kidding. Who's kidding? Right, seriously, girls, we need a plan. All right, a bride sounds like the best idea so far. Maybe, if we pool our resources, 4 times nothing is still nothing. No, really, if we could convince Dawn to put up some kind of money reward. Incentive. Yes, incentive. To carry Katie off and marry her. Or sell it to the Indians. I really don't care.
Yes, you do, however. She's still our sister in spite of everything.
Spite. That's the best word that describes Katie. Spiteful.
Back to the situation at hand, though. We seem to be faced with an irresistible force. That's us. Wanting to be wed. Meeting the immovable object. That's Da and the Donovan tradition.
If we don't come up with a collective decision or plan, we may be left with individual ones.
You mean every girl for herself?
We can't do that. Just because we haven't done it doesn't mean we can't do it. I'd be scared to death.
You're young yet, Alana. For some of us, time is marching on.
Moira, your pain isn't healing yet.
Well, I don't want to wait till it is.
Me neither! Or is it either?
lottery. The one who can rope her, hog tie her, and haul her off gets to keep her. I bet already every man in Seattle's already heard about her. It only takes one. All right, girls. Split up. Listen to what the men are saying about us, especially Katie. If worst comes to worst, we may have to do something like this.
Gentlemen, great news. Mrs. Donovan has asked me to tutor her daughters.
Need any help?
I thought you'd say that. I told Mrs. Donovan I teach the girls history, since that's my field, and that I was sure I could persuade the baker, Mr. Terwilliger, to teach mathematics, and the editor, Mr. Giles, to teach English.
Good show.
A word to the wise, my friends. Beware of the one called Katie. She's a woman who'd be a challenge to any man. Well, I must be off.
Danny, what's your hurry? Stay for supper.
I'd like to, Asa, but duty calls. I'll be back in a few days to check on things. So long.
Here they are, Mr. Mercer. I told Brenda she really didn't need any more school, but she insisted.
Well, Mama, I think Mr. Mercer can teach me lots of new things. I'm very eager to learn.
That's the spirit. They're all yours, Mr. Mercer. You can never have too much education.
Come on, baby. I'll give you a private math lesson.
Shall we, George Dawes? I'll recite some poetry to you. Perfect book. Come on, Nick.
Let's take a ride in my wagon. There's this nice spot down by the river where we can discuss history.
Mr. Mercer! I guess I won't be learning anything today.
Guess again, little lady. Laura, how did you manage to get loose and come out alone?
Well, I promised maybe I'd do her chores tomorrow.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Oh, I'm sure I could find something for you to do.
Laura, would you mind to ask you a serious question?
Why, Clive? This is so sudden.
No, not that question. Not yet anyway. You know I'm from England, and your people and my people have been hating and killing each other for many generations. How does your family, especially your father, think of this?
Oh, you silly man. This is not Europe. This is America. People bring their dreams here, not their own patriots. Besides, didn't you say you are British American?
I did.
Well, I'm Irish American. The thing we have in common is America. This beautiful country allows us to be the people we want to be. No other place in the world can say that.
There is truth in what you say, and another truth is that none of my people have ever been to Ireland.
Well, there you go then. Cause a tempest in a teapot. Besides, you're a fine figure of a man. I would be daft not to hang on to you.
Little lady, a band of wild idiots could run me off.
Do they have such around here?
Why, they have been on the warpath for some weeks now.
Oh, please protect me, Clive. It would be horrid to be carried off. Scalped even.
Never fear, my beauty. No man shall touch you, except to me, of course.
Oh, that is such relief. I am so helpless when you are not around. You're my hero, you know. Your arms are so strong.
You bring the tiger out to me, Laura. Come over here and sit down.
Oh, thank you. I suddenly feel so faint.
Here, let me help you.
Now I feel silly.
Not a whit.
I must be getting back. It would be horrid if we were caught out alone.
Be quiet. I feel like shouting from the rooftops. I'm crazy about more Donovan.
Oh, Clive, you'll not be shaming me now.
I see no shame in honest feelings.
Please, Clive. You know the Donovan tradition. None may know happiness until Katie is wed.
Maybe I could hire some Indians to carry her off.
I would feel sorry for the Indians.
Or should it be Shanghai to China?
Chinese would declare war on America.
Still, there has to be some kind of answer.
Clive will not have my sister hurt.
That leaves that idea out. Okay, I'll keep working on it. When can I see you again?
Well, is tomorrow too far away?
Yes, but I'll get over it. Goodbye, lass.
Goodbye, my hero.
There will be a 15-minute intermission.
Hi! It's a gorgeous day!
It finally stopped raining. There's nothing I like better, but we have to stay inside. Mr. and Mrs. Spector are certainly diligent chaplains, but they needn't worry.
What do you mean?
She means there are few men out during the day. Most are off at work in the forest and the lumber mills. And some of the docks. Though not many. They look. I don't know what the big deal is. We're the rarity around here, not them.
I know, but I like the attention.
Perhaps she doesn't want to talk to Mr. Spector. I'm sure she'd agree it's not healthy for you to stay in here all day.
Maybe you're right.
No! Why not? Elsa, remember what Darian said. That's right. I'm getting used to having 3 squares every day and a soft mattress every night. What do you mean by that?
Never mind that. Just tell us about the men. Are they handsome?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. As soon as I've completed my contract, I'm going to marry the first man I see, handsome or not, and settle down.
Me too. It's the main reason I came to Seattle. I've already met the man of my dreams. They're all good at it too.
I know what you mean. That darn Catherine, she's standing in the way of all of our happiness.
She sure is. Just once, I wish you would think of someone other than yourself. Listen to yourself. If you're so in love, why don't you do as Catherine says and break the tradition? It wouldn't be right. It would break mother's heart.
Have you no feelings?
What's she talking about? What tradition?
None of us can be married until our oldest sister Catherine is.
Oh, I met her. It looks like we expected girls might beat you Donovan to the altars.
Anyways, I don't know why you want to hook her. The first guy you meet. Don't you remember what mother has always said? You need to take your time. Make the right match. Because it's forever. Believe me, forever is a very long time.
I don't think it matters anyway. By the time we're able to marry, we'll probably have forgotten why we wanted to in the first place. Come on, girls, let's go back up to our room.
If we've got chores.
Looks like the Donovan girls have their own set of problems.
Yeah. Tradition? How can you forget? I wish that's all we had to deal with.
Well, there may be things we're not aware of. Remember Darian at the start?
I don't care. I can play with any of the Donovan girls.
Any one of them?
Well, not that Katie. She's awful. She's worse than the Specters.
I don't think anyone's that bad.
Why is she like that?
Because she can. Now, come on, girls, let's go through the motions.
I want to be married in the traditional dress of my people.
But you were marrying me, and I'm Duwamish.
But I'm not to become Duwamish. My job is to educate you about the Squamish.
Since when does a woman educate a man?
Since a Squamish woman is forced to unite with a Duwamish boy.
Guard your tongue, woman. I am to be chief. Don't force me to pull out the squaw whip.
Enough swallowed. You should both be preparing for your union.
Running bear did not make me see this through. My heart still yearns for soaring hawk.
You must
How can
forget-
I marry this uncouth one?
You must forget Soaring Hawk. Stalker Fox to be your husband.
But he is such a fool. He's not ready for a wife. It's better that you should marry White Dove.
I would gladly make that sacrifice if I had been chosen. But you and Stalking Fox were the elected ones.
Your brother is right, Billy Blossom. You and Skulking Fox must learn to appreciate one another. Endure maybe. Appreciate never.
This is too much to ask for a man.
Please, Skulking Fox, you must try to win her. It is for the good of your people. It is your duty.
I will try, but I won't enjoy it.
You think they were wisely chosen?
They are the younger siblings. They lack wisdom and maturity. We must give them a chance to accept their fate.
You are wise, Runday. I am glad you have come with Lily Blossom.
Skulking Fox is fortunate indeed to have a loving and patient sister.
I hope you'll find invitation to visit her once she's settled in our village.
I will make it a frequent custom.
I hope so. Please, excuse me. I will go to Lily Blossom.
And I will go to Skulking Fox.
Hey, nice place.
Yes, I suppose so.
The rain has slowed us down somewhat.
Hey, since we're here, can we have a look at them?
At what?
The girls. I haven't seen a woman in 3 years.
Well, you're just going to have to wait a few more weeks, like everyone else.
Not everyone else.
What do you mean?
I saw 3 of them just yesterday.
How could you? Spectre girls did not set foot outside this inn.
They was walking with that professor, the banker, and that guy who runs the newspaper.
Those are not the Spectre girls, Mo.
Who were they?
Those were some of the daughters of Mr. Donovan.
Married.
Some? You mean there's more? A few others, perhaps. Just wait until you see mine.
Why wait if Mr. Donovan and his daughters are going to let us see now?
Well, because Mr. Donovan's daughters aren't nearly as pretty as.
I don't give a hoot what a woman looks like, just as long as she's female.
Besides, the daughters are clearer than Mr. Donovan's.
His are available now. Well, that's just the thing. They're not available at all.
You mean Mr. Donovan charges fellows to see his daughters too?
No. I mean that before any of the other daughters can be married, their oldest daughter, Katie, must be wedded. So you see, you're much better off just waiting for the Spectre girls. They'll be available long before the daughters of Donovan.
Well, lead me to this Katie. I'm glad to marry her and stop the other fellows in town.
Well, she's already engaged.
She is?
Yes, just recently.
To who?
Why, to me, of course.
That's good. That means your sisters will be available sooner than you think.
Except that we've agreed on a long engagement. Years, probably. I want to be sure my business is going to be a complete success before we marry. So you're much better off just finishing the salute. Then, for a small fee, you can see a Spectre girl whenever you want.
Oh boy.
And for another small fee, she'll even dance with you.
Wow!
And for a little more, she'll serve you a scrumptious meal. So get back to work.
Where are we, boss? Let's go, man.
I wonder what you charge me to marry one.
Marriage. I can always get more.
So, brother dear, we need to talk.
Agatha, we've got to do something about these daughters of Mr. Donovan.
What is this?
I'm going to get engaged to Catherine.
That doesn't sound like much of a plan.
Don't you remember the family tradition, which holds that the oldest child must be married before any of the others can be?
That's right. Mrs. Donovan mentioned it.
The only way to assure Catherine won't get married and open up the floodgates of available women is to get engaged to her myself. Then she's no longer available, you see.
But you'll never actually marry her.
Never is a very long time. I rather like the girl.
But if you marry her,
Relax, Agatha. I would never do anything to defeat our cause. We'll find some way to get them rid of permanently. But for now, we need to get them out of circulation, so the only real choice for men in Seattle would be our girls.
it's a grand scheme, Darian. But there's just one problem.
What's that?
Getting Catherine to agree to marry you.
Are you serious? I'm sophisticated and charming. Rich and handsome. What woman resists me?
You forgot modest and humble. Sorry, brother dear, but I don't think getting engaged with her will be as easy as you think. Where's my raincoat? Here she comes now. This should be good. You can start moving her right away.
I will. Make yourself scarce.
But I want to watch.
Agatha?
All right.
Are you still here?
That's no way to talk to the man of your dreams.
More likely my nightmares.
Very funny. I like it when you play hard to get.
Excuse me, I need some fresh air.
Going out would be a great mistake.
Why is that?
Other men would cast their eyes upon you, and it would create such a jealousy. I don't know what I might do to them.
Oh, really? You look rather inferior to the men around here. If I were looking, that is.
Catherine, I love you.
Are you crazy?
A little. Maybe. I know you pretend to be cruel and heartless, but I think you really like me too.
Back off, Buster.
It's time you stopped your little game and admitted your true feelings. I know you want me to kiss you, Katie. You cannot resist my charm. Oh, egad, you've ruptured my pucker.
Take your hands off me. Will you ask for it?
That's more like it.
You won't go again.
thank you. Actually, I was looking for Asa Mercer. I was told I'd find him here.
No doubt he's giving lessons to the girls. I've never seen them so happy to learn.
Especially Bridget. I would have thought she'd had enough of schooling by now.
But the right teacher makes everything so exciting.
Katie, will you be still?
Stop pestering Mr. O'Brien, Catherine. It isn't ladylike.
Me pester him? Will you take your big hairy hands off me, you cretin?
Are you going to behave and stop strangling that poor man?
Oh, dear. Mr. Inspector, are you all right?
He had it coming. And so do you.
Katie, let go of Danny and go find Asa and your sisters.
You are the most irritating and intruding moron it has ever been my displeasure to come across.
The girl's crazy for ya. Oh, lucky me. A man could die of happiness.
Danny, will you help Seamus take Mr. Spector upstairs? I think he's fallen asleep.
He looks downright unconscious if you ask me. I think it's safe to assume he'll be out for a while.
Well, I don't want him in here. There's no place for anyone to sit.
Come on, Danny. Let's get him upstairs. Let's.
Danny? That's funny. I could have sworn Catherine yelled, your idiot friend Daniel Wright is waiting for you at the inn.
That's what she said, all right.
I'm surprised you could hear her running the other way like that.
I was not running away. I was simply trying to draw her away from the rest of you.
Well, you certainly fooled me.
Oh, well, he's not here, and neither is he. So I can be safe for a while.
Righty, what's wrong?
Asa, you know I can't marry you. My father wants me to marry a fisherman so we can go back to Ireland and run the family business.
But is that what you want?
I've never allowed myself to think about what I want.
Maybe it's time you did.
It wouldn't matter anyway. Catherine scared away any man who showed the slightest interest in her. I don't think I shall ever be free to marry.
That's right. The Donovan tradition has become the Donovan curse.
Just like our great-great-aunt Catherine. No man in his right mind will have our sister either.
There's gotta be someone.
He'd have to be strong. Catherine would cripple any man.
He'd have to be very independent. Catherine loathed convention.
But he'd also have to be kind and gentle and patient to settle with the wisest Catherine would be.
Asa, I'll be out as soon as I put on Mr. Spector's pajamas.
Why would he want to wear Mr. Spector's pajamas?
Danny!
Of course, he's perfect. Last week, when she tried to beat him up and couldn't, I thought she'd never stop talking about him.
What did she say?
Oh, I don't think I should repeat it.
At least she's talking about it. She's never found any other man with her interest at all.
But how are we going to get him interested in her?
I have a plan.
You have a plan?
Better make it a plot.
Plus, do you remember your Shakespeare?
Indeed I do. The bard was one of my favorites.
Do you recall The Taming of the Shrew?
Of course.
What is this Taming of the Shrew?
It was one of William Shakespeare's most famous plays about a cruel and hateful woman who was finally tamed by a man.
How does he do it?
I'll have to explain later. Give us some time alone with Danny, okay?
Of course. Come on, girls. Oh, it's going to work.
Hello, fellas.
Danny!
Men, I need to talk to you about the marriage of Skulking Fox and Lily Blossom. I've heard rumors that things aren't going too well.
We'll get to that in a moment, Danny. Let's sit down.
All right.
Danny, how do you feel about women?
I don't know too many since I came to this territory. I like them, most of them. They're kind of scarce though, like hen's teeth or hair on a frog.
Ever think about getting married?
Someday, maybe. But the life of a federal marshal can be pretty demanding. Lots of travel, irregular hours.
Very unconventional, huh?
You could say that. It'd be hard for most women to put up with.
But what if the right woman came along now? Would you marry her?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm not sure it'd be fair to ask a woman to marry me.
What if her father had a business, a very lucrative business, and he needed an able-bodied, intelligent young man to run it? You could give up your job being a federal marshal and go to work for her old man.
You might have to relocate, but you'd make more money, that's for sure.
And you wouldn't have to wander lonely through this great big territory, sleeping on the ground,
Cooking your own food. Being shot at by criminals.
and best of all, you'd have a loving, caring, beautiful woman waiting for you at the end of every day.
Wow. Sounds like a dream come true.
Well, wake up, because all of that is about to become yours.
Huh?
We know this woman who's crazy about you.
She hasn't stopped talking about you since you met.
And your father's got a successful business, but no son to run it.
If you were to marry this girl, you could quit being a federal marshal and take over the family business.
He'd be happy.
You'd be happy.
And she'd be happy.
Who is she? Oh, wait. She's got to be one of the Donovan's daughters. They're the only women I've met lately.
Gee, you're right.
Is it Bridget? Oh, let it be Bridget. She's beautiful.
Well, actually, Bridget's mine.
Oh, sorry. Then maybe. Or Maura. They're both lovely girls.
I'm afraid that he's spoken for, old boy.
Yep. Not Alana. She's darling, but I think she's a bit young.
Not Alana, Daddy.
Well, then the only other one I remember meeting was Katie, and I could never... Katie? It's Katie? She hates me, and frankly, she scares me a little.
That's just her way.
She acts like that because she's attracted to you.
According to her sister, she's only mean to men she likes.
And she's been extremely nice to us.
Then she must like that daring inspector more than me. She beat him half to death.
That's why it's important we move fast.
You know, now that you mention it, her father's always saying that she likes me, but I just figured he was trying to get rid of her. Anyway, I don't know how to go about courting her. Every time I see her, she stomps my foot. I'll be walking with a limp suit. Or worse, triple.
Whoa!
How?
We can tell you everything you need to know to win her.
Like what?
Well, for instance, whenever she treats you badly, pretend she's the sweetest, kindest woman in the world.
And contradict her. When she says it's day, you say it's night. And stuff like that.
Why?
She likes strong, aggressive men who aren't afraid to challenge her.
Oh, and when you take her out, don't let her eat. Say that food's not good enough for her.
Nothing's good enough for her, so don't give her anything.
And insist on calling her Katie.
She pretends to hate it, but actually it's just a test of her assertiveness.
She likes a man who won't let her push her around.
She hasn't met too many yet.
I don't know, fellas.
She's a beautiful girl.
Yeah? She is nice to look at.
You could give up your vagabond life and settle into a lucrative career.
Running an inn.
No, not the end.
What then?
Nothing you couldn't handle. The important thing is you have each other for the rest of your lives.
Someone to keep you warm on those long, cold, lonely winter nights.
Wow. Sounds like a dream come true. That does sound inviting.
It is.
Idiots! You can tell men design this town. No sidewalks, no clothing stores, no museums. Just mud and horses and trees. And you! Don't you have anything better to do? Why don't you go arrest someone or something? Go!
Boy, is she crazy about you or what?
She wants you, Danny.
If that woman loved me anymore, my head would be mounted on her wall. Suddenly, being a federal marshal isn't all bad.
Come on, go help you plan your strategy.
It's tradition among my family and my people that the wife will be with the husband for the first year.
Well, it's tradition among my people that the couple live alone after the union.
Well, how will you learn to cook properly, sew, and do all those things that women are accustomed to if you don't have my mother and sister nearby to teach you?
I can cook and sew well enough for the likes of you.
Just what is that supposed to mean?
It means that you're a backward, big, keep, no account, buffalo-brained raccoon. And my father was crazy to agree to this marriage.
Ha! I can have any squaw to Duwamish people. You should consider yourself fortunate indeed to have been chosen.
I came as a top of far yonder fire mountain, just throw myself in.
Lily Blossom, Skulking Fox, you must stop this fighting.
It's worse now than when our tribes were at war.
There will never be peace between our tribes if you can't find some common ground.
It's not my fault women of your tribe are so outspoken and rough.
Don't say such things, Skulking Fox.
Please, my brother, I have spent much time with Lily Blossom. She is no different from the women of our tribe. All she wants is for you to treat her with some respect.
When she earns my respect, then she shall have it.
If I felt it worth earning, then I might.
Vulture!
Go first! I am sorry for my brother.
And I'm sorry for my sister.
This seems like an ill-made match.
Truly, it does. Well, what can be done? We came here to make a union between our tribes that would ensure peace and harmony between us.
I'm afraid this union might make things worse, not better.
But what can be done? We've given our word. We must see this through.
You are right, my dear. You are a strong and wise brave. I wish that the people of my tribe could come to know you as I have. Then they would no longer wish to battle your tribe.
If only my people come to know you, Doctor. Your sweetness, your intelligence, and your gentleness will never again think a bad thought about the Longhorn tribe.
If only my brother could see your sister as I see you,
If only my blind sister could see your brother as I see you.
then this union would be a pleasant and welcome one.
For all parties concerned.
Please, excuse me. I will speak to Skulking Fox. I'm sure he will come to his senses.
And I will speak to my sister as well.
Oh, I'm telling you girls, I'm about to go crazy.
Don't worry. If Jerry and Agatha don't let us out of here soon, I'll be climbing the walls.
I'm so bored, I wouldn't even mind scrubbing the floor.
I just want to go home. I'm tired of falling free.
Believe me, when Jerry and Agatha get that social club open, we'll be so tired to think back on this as the good old days.
At least the Donovans did wonderful. Yeah, Seamus and Abby are like the mom and dad that left behind. I know what you mean.
And the girls, they're like sisters. Well, except for Katie. She's hateful.
That's the way sisters usually are. Mine were.
Oh, I guess it's okay then.
Maybe we should tell Mr. and Mrs. Donovan what Jerry and Agatha are doing to us. You know, charging us so much interest and everything.
What do you think they'd be able to do about it? After all, we all walked into this with our eyes open. Mostly.
It just doesn't seem right, is all. I don't mind paying my fair share, but with all that the specters are charging us, I know I'll never be able to pay them back.
Agatha? Where is she? Why has she left you alone?
She was taking me back.
Agatha!
Coming, Darren! What's the big deal anyways?
We're a little old to be a babysitter.
You've already proven you can't be trusted. So until every penny of my money is paid back, you are all to be strictly supervised. Where have you been?
I was taking a bath.
Well, no more baths until the salute. Social club is finished. Now get them upstairs.
Come along, girls, up to your rooms. Let's go.
You stay. I need to talk to you. Besides, I doubt any of them should try to escape, since all their warm clothing is locked in the lab.
Darian, it's past noon. Why are you still in your pajamas?
I have no idea, but there are far more important things than you.
What?
It's Catherine. She won't entertain my advances.
Told you so.
Shut up. If my saloon is going to be a complete success, I need to get those Donovan girls out of circulation. We go to Plan B.
What's Plan B?
We kidnap Catherine and hold her until Seamus and his family agree to leave Seattle.
And how are you going to do that?
Tell those three stooges to meet me here in 30 minutes. They're going to do the dirty work for me.
What makes you think they'll agree to it?
They won't even know they're doing it. I'm a genius. Now go tell them.
Can't I get dressed first?
No, there's not a moment to lose.
But what if some female starved man sees me and attacks?
Don't worry. These men are desperate, not deranged.
Right.
I suppose I should get dressed. Though I was quite sure I'd already done it. Oh well.
3rd. Dear Journal, here we are in Seattle, and though Dodd tries to keep a bright outlook, I can tell he doesn't like it any more than he did last year. He misses his dear old Ireland. Ma seems happy enough, and my silly sisters have all gone and fallen in love. Except Alana. She's the only one sensible. Besides me, that is. As for me, I've never felt so alone and miserable. Somewhere in this world, there has to be a place for me. A place where I can truly be happy.
Excuse me.
You! I thought I told you not to come back here again!
You can't fool me, Katie. You're being rude. I know what that means. And I've decided to court you.
Court me? Are you a complete idiot? What's wrong with all the men over here anyway?
Go ahead. Call me names. But I know how you really feel. And as far as I'm concerned, you're the sweetest girl in all of Seattle.
I may have to hurt you.
Darling. Come, sit on my lap.
No! Take your hands off me! You're even crazier than that Spectre fellow!
So you do like me more than him. Asa was right.
That does it! You better get out of here now before I get really angry!
Sorry, and no can do, my love. I have official business with Running Bear.
He's out! Come back later.
I'll wait. Come here. I'll let you wait with me.
You are a deranged man, and I want you out of my house! Take your hands off me, you brute! Let me go!
Daddy! It's good to see you. Hello, Seamus. Will you be joining us for lunch, Daddy? I was corned beef and cabbage, haven't I? I'd like that, Seamus. You know, Katie here is quite to cook herself.
Duh! Can't you see what's going on here?
Oh, sorry. I'll leave you two alone.
Stop! You can let me go! No! Oops. I almost forgot.
The girl's truly taking a fancy to you, Danny boy. I know. I'm courting her. Well, that's a bit of good news. Come on, the corned beef is waiting.
Right. Now, do you three imbeciles know what you're supposed to do and how to do it?
Yeah, I think I've got it now. Good.
We wait up front. You send your fiancée out.
Then we tie her up and gag her.
Right.
And put her in the cabin and wait for you.
Then you'll come and get her and take her to a surprise birthday party.
Right. And with my dear Catherine out of the way, we'll be able to make all the preparations needed without her suspecting a thing.
What if she asks us why we're keeping her there?
But don't say anything. Tell her you're sworn to secrecy.
All right.
Now get outside and wait.
Okay.
Now. Now, how to get her outside? Aha! Oh, Catherine! Miss Donovan!
What do you want? I'm busy.
Oh, I just thought you should know there was a man here a moment ago.
A federal marshal.
Yes. Anyway, he was saying the most horrible things about you. Of course, I tried to come.
What kind of things?
I don't dare repeat them.
Spit it out!
He said you were the meanest, nastiest woman he had ever met.
Oh, is that all? I thought he might be talking about how sweet I am again.
He also mentioned that.
He did.
The nerve. He may have even used the word love.
I'll kill him! Where is it?
That way. Now for the note. So do. Dear Seamus Duff, if you ever want to see your precious Catherine again, you and your family will be out of town on the morning stagecoach. Once you've done this, we will put Catherine on the late afternoon stagecoach tomorrow afternoon. If you fail to heed these warnings, it will be the end of Catherine Donovan. Signed, The Kidnappers. There. That should do it. Seamus, come quickly!
What is it, Mr. Spectre?
This was just delivered.
If you fail to heed this warning, it will be the end for Catherine Donovan.
What? Seamus, give me that.
Mom, what is it?
Catherine has been kidnapped.
What did you get this, Mr. Spectre?
There was a knock on the door, and when I answered, no one was there, but that was lying on the front step.
Abby, you and the girls get packed. I'm gonna go find Danny.
All right, Seamus, hurry.
Miss Dunn, is there anything I can do to help?
Thank you, Mr. Spectre, but there isn't anything.
Oh, Mr. Spectre, can you find Asa Mercer for me? He's the mayor. I think you should know about this.
Of course.
Oh dear, please girls, pack your things quickly.
Hold on! Wait a minute. What is it, Brady? This note was written on Catherine's journal paper. See the little shamrocks in the corner? Father gave her this last Christmas. See? It was ripped out right here. Maybe Catherine was writing in her journal when she was kidnapped? And the kidnappers would take the time to write a note before hauling her away. Then what does this mean? It means whoever wrote the note was right here in the inn.
One of our guests?
That depends who's been here today. Let's see. Patrick! No, he would never kidnap Catherine. He's scared to death of her. The Spectre Girls and Agnes haven't left the room all day. Asa, Judd, and Clyde have been out all morning with those Indians. Could it be Derry and Spectre? That's all that's left.
But why?
That's what we have to find out. We just put it out Catherine. You girls must be so terrified. Maybe you'd like to tell us what you know about this. That's ridiculous. What do I know about it? Good question.
All of you girls have been pretty hush-hush ever since you arrived last week.
We can't say anything, or else Agatha will tell Darian. She'll take away our food and make us sleep on the floor again.
Oh, is that so? Maybe we need to employ Catherine's method of getting things out. Do you feel like telling us?
A little more persuasion, Brady.
Perhaps she likes it.
Why didn't we think of this before?
Stop! Not until you spill it. We just came here to open a saloon. Booze and women in skimpy dresses. If you here before too long, every man in this town will be spending his money there.
You told us it was a social club.
You said we could talk to the fellows and dancing once in a while.
You didn't say anything about dirty grease. Or what are skimpy dresses?
What happened to Catherine? Ow! It was all Darian's idea. He was afraid you Donovan girls would pull too much business away from the saloon. We decided to get rid of you. I'm the victim, just like you girls. I had nothing to do with it. In fact, I was innocent from the start.
Where's Catherine now?
I don't know. No, I really don't know. You must believe me. He doesn't tell me anything.
I'm sorry, I couldn't find it. Hello, what's this?
There he is. Let's get him. Go He's gone.
You took Danny's horse.
Hey, what's going on here? I thought the other one was leaving.
I'll explain it to you later. For now, you and Alana go and take Agatha out to the shed and tie her up.
Oh boy!
I hope you believe we had nothing to do with your sister being kidnapped.
Of course we do.
How can we help?
Well, we need to find out where Darian is keeping Catherine. It seems like he must certainly have had some help.
Have you seen him talking to anybody around town?
Just those 3 dollars down at the soap saloon. Where do they live? I heard Darian tell Agatha that they're camping out behind the new buildings now.
Yes, and he said they had a cabin in the woods nearby.
That's right. Darian said they're imbeciles because half the time, it's under a cliff, and half the time it's buried in snow from an avalanche.
Thank you, girls. Now, would you mind telling Mom what's happened to Catherine? I know she's worried sick.
Of course. Come on, girls.
Let me see the note. Kidnapped?
We know where Catherine is.
You do? What?
You know those 3 loggers who Darian hired to build his saloon?
Saloon?
We'll explain later. Danny, do you know where their cabin is?
Sure. It's right under Simon's Bluff. Not a very safe place to be during the winter.
She's there.
I'll bring her back to you, Seamus.
Danny, one more thing. Darian Spector's the kidnapper.
He took your horse.
Then I'll have to walk. But I promise you, he'll not harm a hair on her head, or I'm not Danny O'Brien, Federal Marshal. Just try and get that before she kills the man.
Recta, how is it possible that you can endure that miserable excuse for a warrior skulking fox? Even his name shows him to be inferior. You must remember, he is to be chief in due time. And when that time comes, there goes your tribe. It is not as bad as that, Lord Watson. For me, it could not be worse. When I think of my noble soaring hawk and how I love him, it's almost more than I can bear. He is strong. He has 10 ponies. And there's always me in his lodge.
Skulking Fox will provide for you, and you'll be a princess of our tribe.
I would rather be a slave if I could be a slave of Soaring Hawk. Skulking Fox has no grace, no inherent strength. He's a spoiled little boy who would not know what to do with a real woman.
Peace. Peace. You can learn such things as you share your lives.
Ugh, the idea of him touching me makes my skin crawl. I grit my teeth at the very thought of it. I don't want to lose my meal.
Well, there's really not anything we can do about that.
That's easy for you to say. You don't have to marry some immature rodent. Or perhaps your taste for a new running bear. Well, he at least comes from my tribe and is therefore a superior sort of man.
You're right about Running Bear being a superior man, but he would be so in whatever tribe he belonged to.
How could anyone compare Running Bear to Skulking Fox, much less my Soaring Hawk? I will not have this. Why were volunteers called for? Why is it me who has to make this terrible sacrifice? Oh no, they had to make me do this loathsome thing. Well, you know what? I'm so close to just running away. White Dove, would you trade me places and marry Running Bear to bind our 2 tribes together?
Yes, I would.
Well, you're just a natural born squaw, aren't you?
And having pride and a sense of duty to my people makes me a squaw. Then yes, I am.
You are pathetic. Are all the people in your tribe so complainant and weak?
Do not mistake a peaceful nature for weakness. It is often the quiet ones that are the most dangerous.
Well, I'll tell you this. If I have to go through with this marriage, I'm going to make Skulking Fox's life so miserable that he will forsake his lodge and sleep among the coyotes.
Skulking Fox does not deserve this.
He's getting more from this than I am.
What makes you think you are worth more than he is?
Look upon the 2 of us. It becomes obvious.
Obviously only to you. You value yourself overly much.
If you do not value yourself, then nobody else will.
There is a difference between self-worth and arrogance.
Wait! Here comes the immature rodent. He's all yours, White Dove.
Is that my winsome wife-to-be?
Yes. Have you resigned to what you must be?
Never. I'd rather wed a rattlesnake.
Please remember why all of this must take place. You'll be famous for 100 years.
Someone bashed me in the head with a rock. Put me out of my misery.
Peace, my brother. Marriage does not have to be a war.
It does with her. Certainly. There's someone, somewhere, that can save me from this horror.
But go for a fast ride on your best pony. It'll clear your mind and make you likable.
You're wise, White Dove. I will do that very thing.
Yeah, we was just helping your fiancé surprise you for your birthday.
Imbeciles. I don't have a fiance, and my birthday's in December, not March.
Maybe you have a lot of preparations to make. Your fiancé.
Who is my fiance?
You don't know?
There were surprise birthday parties. There were surprise weddings.
Don't you get it? Someone has set you up. You're all involved in a kidnapping.
Hear that, fellas? We've been kidnapped. Wow,
So, Darian Spector is responsible for this. I should have known.
Yeah, well, if you know what's good for you, let's go before Danny gets here.
Danny?
Yeah, he's a law enforcement. He takes a dim view out of crime. He'll rescue us.
He's not going to rescue you. He's going to rescue me.
Lady, who's tied up? You or us?
I suppose you're all harmless. Cut your friends loose.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna die!
I don't know if fellas about you, but I don't want to spend any more time with this woman than I already have to. I'm with you, Mo.
Come on, let's get out of here. Where are those morons?
Okay, I'm ready to head back to town.
I don't think so, Miss Donovan.
Darian Spector, you got some nerve coming here. If you were smart, you'd be out of the territory by now.
What's happened to my accomplices?
No doubt they're on their way back to Seattle. Spill the beans about your little plan. It's all over, Darian.
Not all. I still have you to trade with. I'll simply exchange you for the Spectre girls and move farther north. There are plenty of other towns around here where women are scarce. But I think it's only fair if your father come up with a little compensation for the loss on my saloon. I think a lock of your hair should convince him I mean business.
No! Let me go!
Release her, scoundrel!
No!
So, the fearless lawman arrives. You've ruined everything. I'll kill you both, just for spite.
Danny, use your gun!
I can't.
Oh. Give it to me. I'll make quick work of this villain.
No, we can't shoot him.
Of course we can. He tried to cut my hair. You're not man enough to do it. I'll do it myself. No!
No!
What was that?
An avalanche. This time of year, usually any loud noise will set one off.
Why didn't you tell me?
I tried. I said not to shoot.
I thought you were just being law-abiding.
It looks like we're gonna be here a while.
Did Darian get away?
There's no telling. Anyway, we should be safe here provided the walls hold. Someone should be along to dig us out in a few days.
A few days? I'm not staying here for one more minute.
Well, how do you propose we get out?
You'll dig.
Wrong. We don't know how deep the snow is out there. If we open that door, it could cause this whole place to collapse. Anyway, there's plenty of hardtack and an animal skin to wrap up in. So we should be alright.
I'm not eating that stuff and that smelly skin. Forget it.
You're right.
I am.
Sure. A fine lady such as yourself shouldn't be subjected to such rough accommodations. As for me, though, I'm not nearly as fine, and I'm rather hungry after that long walk.
Oh, how can you eat that stuff? It smells vile.
You're right.
Ugh.
It's nasty stuff. Tastes awful.
Well, you seem to be enjoying it.
That's only because I'm desperate. There's nothing like a little hardtack when your stomach's a grumbling.
Okay, maybe I'll just try a little. I am kind of hungry.
No. It's not near good enough for you. You should have only the best. A nice roast beef, dripping with succulent juices, fresh baked potatoes, sweet, juicy fruit. Why, this hardtack is barely fit for a ruffian like me. I think I'm just gonna put the rest back in the sack and use it as a pillow. I'm feeling pretty spent. Think I'll get some sleep. You should rest too.
I'm not sleepy just now. Maybe if I just keep moving. It's not cold. It's not cold! I'm just fine. I'm just freezing.
Well, what is it?
Is there another animal skin I can use?
No, there's just the one. And it's far too smelly for you.
I guess I could share that one with you. It doesn't look so bad.
No. You should have silk and satin around you, and nothing else.
I'm not such a fine lady, Danny. I'm just a cold and hungry girl, and I'd be very much obliged if you'd share your hardtack and your animal skin.
But it's a warm day and you're not hungry.
Are you crazy? It is not a warm day. It's freezing, and I haven't eaten since yesterday. Try to get this straight if you can. I am famished and freezing.
No, you are not.
How do you know what I'm feeling? Are you a mind reader?
It's very simple. It is whatever I say it is.
The smell of pine needles has addled your wits.
Has it?
Yes, it has! You big goon. He says it's warm when it's freezing. Tells me I'm not hungry when I'm starving. Anything I say, he says the opposite. Day is night, cold is warm. I wish I could just leave. Well, I can't! Now what? What's he trying to prove? I wish I could read his mind. He doesn't use force. He could. Why not? Does that mean he cares for me? Could I truly care for him? Who am I kidding? Wait a minute. Could it be? Danny, please wake up.
I say it's quite warm and you're not hungry.
All right, whatever you say. It's a beautiful day and I'm quite satisfied. That's the way you want it.
It's freezing and you're famished.
If that's the way you want it.
Don't worry about a thing. I'll look after you now.
Why don't you share this animal skin with me? It's big enough for the both of us.
It's too bad Danny couldn't be here to witness this historic event. Yes, he worked so hard to bring it about.
I just hope they're okay.
Don't worry, Daddy knows how to survive under adverse conditions.
You don't know what adverse is until you've spent a few days locked up with Catherine.
Anyway, the men should have them dug out soon.
Patrick, where's that lad? I told the chops what hours ago.
Alana, where has she gone up to now? Our chores are really half done. It's time to start the ceremony.
I'm sorry to rush things, but we do need to get underway.
I'll call the other girls. Elsa, Claire, everyone, it's time to begin the ceremony.
Look what the Navy was found this morning.
Is he alive?
Oh, yeah.
We managed to get into the outhouse before the snow hit.
Does that mean we have to honor those awful contracts?
I told you girls, you're free of Darian and his sister.
By the time that horrible man gets out of jail, I suspect all you lovely young ladies will be married with a dozen children. I just wish I could say the same to my own daughters.
Now, Abby.
Speaking for myself, I'd be willing to marry whichever one would be willing to have me.
You fellas get this inspector down to the job house and lock him up with the system. Then you can come back and get to know these young ladies personally.
If you don't mind, I'd like nothing more than to turn the key myself after Darius goes with his glamour.
Sure, you can all come if you want.
3 days in an outhouse? You can stay away from me.
Yeah, you keep your horse stuff outside.
Good idea, come on.
Someday you'll all regret this. I could have put Seattle on the map. Now this small-minded town will never amount to anything.
That's not true, Darian. In a few years, Washington will be a state and Seattle will be among its most prosperous cities. I'll see to that personally.
And how do you plan to do that, Asa?
The area inspector is a greedy, self-serving man. His idea to bring women to Seattle was a good one.
Well, there were women here now.
Yes, some wonderful women. But if we're gonna grow, we're gonna need more. So I'm going east to bring him back myself.
Asa!
Of course, not without you, Bridie, after I make you my wife.
Asa, I just don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Ah, Lily Blossom. Skulky Fox. You'll come this way. And Running Bear and White Dove. As the witnesses for your people, will you please stand right behind them? Dearly beloved, we are gathered here in sight of God and man to bring together these two into a union that will bring peace among their people and the colonists of the Washington Territory. To bring...
Stop!
I'm sorry, my brother. I know this is my duty, but I cannot marry one that disgusts me so.
This is true with me, sister. This marriage is too much of a sacrifice for me to make.
Mangy coyote.
Noisy goose!
Running Bear, White Dove, you must speak to them for the sake of all our peoples. This union must take place.
I'm afraid it's no use. When my sister makes up her mind, there's simply no change.
It is the same with my brother. He is a stubborn ox.
Then what are we to do?
Well, it seems, White Dove, that it has fallen on us to accept this burden for the good of all.
I willingly accept the challenge. With all my heart.
Great, then we shall have a wedding after all.
We've already had one.
What?
Patrick and I were married at 10 o'clock this morning, and now you can all be married, as the tradition has already been broken.
How could you do this to me, daughter?
I've done nothing to you, Father, but bring you a son-in-law who wishes to become a fisherman.
I'll work hard, sir, to make the Donovan family fishing company prosper. I've always wanted to go to Ireland.
My littlest daughter, you're too young to marry. But in truth, you're older than I was myself. Let's celebrate.
You people! Don't you know how important family traditions are? How can you expect to make a good life together if you have no respect for tradition?
I agree with you, Seamus. Tradition should be respected and kept. And in America, it's traditional for a man to carry his new bride across the threshold.
Right? We were married this morning.
About what time would it be?
About 9 o'clock.
Then praise be, the tradition hasn't been broken.
But I'm not going to Ireland with you, Seamus. I love this country, and I want to be here when Washington becomes a state.
That's fine, me boy. I've got me other son-in-law to run the boats. You and Katie can stay here and run the inn. Come on, we've got work to do. And Patrick, I need you.
Danny, I can't believe this. You really tamed her.
I never actually thought so it was.
By the second day, she was putty in my hands.
Lisa, I think we should start the ceremony. We're being rude to White Dove and Running Bear.
Darling, please allow me to decide when to conduct the ceremony.
Lisa, I was just suggesting.
Would Catherine speak this way to her husband, Danny?
Katie, come here and tell your sisters how to properly behave towards their future husband.
Sisters dear, it is not a problem to shout at your husband. Girls, wipe those frowns from your faces. This disrespectful pose towards your husband tarnishes your beauty. It is in no way fitting or attractive. An angry woman is like a swollen torrent, muddy and unpleasant, totally lacking in beauty. No man is going to be drawn to you when you act like this. Your husband is the one who loves you, provides for you, and protects your heart. He faces the elements and those who wish you ill, while you stay snug in your bed at home. All he asks of you is kind treatment, love, and obedience. Not much to pay for what he does for you. Think of him as your king. When you are disagreeable, sullen, or sour, you are a rebel and traitorous to your vows. You become loathsome. I am ashamed that women are so warlike and seek to dominate, when they should seek to be lovingly tender. Our bodies are fragile and smooth, unfit for the hardships of life. Our hearts should be as obliging. I have been as foolish as you, seeking strife when I should have sought tender love. Now I see I was wrong. We have only the strength he gives us, nothing more. Give yourselves to your husbands. Hold nothing back, as I do now, tonight. If your husband disagrees with you, it is always better to use force.
It looks like she's not as tame as I thought. Come on, then.
Oh, damn it! You put me down, Mulder! You're gonna do
Dearly beloved, we're gathered here in sight of God and man